Hi, welcome to BCI Ask the Experts. I'm Brad White. This is the program where our experts answer your questions. If you have questions, you can send them to us at bci@ksu.edu. I'm joined today by two good experts, Dr. Dustin Pendle.
Good morning.
And Dr. Brian Lubers.
Good morning.
And they've got a great question from a listener who asked about a chronically lame cow who is in mid-gestation. And their question was, should I continue to treat her or should I cull her? And this is important because trying to decide what's the best choice, and there's both economics and pharmacology, treatment, therapy involved. So Dustin, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, this is a tough question, first off. But what I would probably do as an animal or as a vet, not as a veterinarian, as an economist, I would probably work with my vet pretty close. I mean, I would make sure have him tell me what the issues are, what kind of probabilities are we talking about here of getting better or not. But I'm going to approach it from, if she dies, I get nothing, right? And from a revenue standpoint. So I'm probably going to lean a little closer to let's if she's sick and she's been sick and she's not going to get better anytime soon and we're going to continue treating her, let's maybe think about getting rid of her just so I can get something from a revenue standpoint.
Sell her for salvage value,
yes.
Which may be less, especially if she goes through with the lame animal, but less is better than zero. That's what you're saying.
I'm pretty risk averse, so I would rather get something rather than zero.
So five points for Dustin at the start. Brian, what about you?
So I actually agree with Dustin's first part of his answer is if she's chronically lame, so I'm assuming we've had probably a couple rounds of antibiotics, she's not really improving, we need to figure out what's going on because there's a range of things that could be happening, and Dustin's absolutely right. We can probably get a better prognostic value based on a more in-depth exam. So, but it could be things like, it could be a foreign body, like a nail or something in there, and those are easy fixes, and those cows get better. And then, I'm keeping her, absolutely. It could be things where she's got an infection in a deep joint, and she's probably not going to get better. But I guess I would lean towards just kind of the more common causes of lameness in beef cows. I probably can manage her through the pregnancy. So I'd get that exam. I'd make sure I knew exactly what was going on. But you said she's mid-gestation, so I'm not going to get much for her. I'm probably going to see if I can get the calf out of her. And the other thing I would worry about a little bit is if she's had multiple treatments, I for sure want to make sure I'm not having any sort of violative residues, because if she's going cull cow, she's going slaughter.
Yeah. So be sure that whatever treatments I've given her, she's past the withdrawal time. Even if I decide to sell her now, which sounds like you're leaning toward keeping her, but if I sell her now, make sure she's past those withdrawal times.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Good, strong response there. Brian's got 6. So Dustin, I'm going to turn back to you, and I'm going to ask just in general, as I think about culling cows. So let me move just a little bit away from just this lame cow, but I think about culling cows. Is there anything else I should be thinking about when I decide to make that decision, cull or keep?
Well, I'd take a look at what the price is for cull cows for sure. I mean, that's it. And then again, take a look at the feedstuff prices. So can you hold on to her, maybe put a little more weight on a cull cow, and then sell her at a later time that maybe the markets are a little better? Again, coming back to this, what's the marginal cost of keeping her around, adding a few more pounds versus what is the value, that marginal value of keeping her around? And as long as the value is greater than that additional cost, that marginal cost, I'm going to keep her.
Okay. And Brian, on the health side, and you mentioned this, there's uncertainty related to the outcome, and you got to get to the diagnosis. You got to figure out back on this chronically lame cow, what exactly is it? But there's still going to be uncertainty even when we know on whether she gets better or not.
Sure.
Is there a certain level at which point you'd say, okay, she's got a X% chance of getting better, so I'm for sure going to cull her, or an X% chance of getting better, I'm for sure going to keep her? Do you have that type of range, or how do you make that decision?
Yeah, I think as a veterinarian, I don't make that decision, right? I just try to present those options, and usually I try to put them into there's a high probability she'll get better bucket, or this one's not getting better, and I guess there is kind of a middle bucket, which is I think I can stretch her out a little bit longer to, like you said, if the goal is to get a live calf, which probably has more value than just a cull cow. If that's my goal, is the disease process something that is amenable to that?
Excellent. So thanks for joining us. Great listener question. Good answers from our experts. Dustin ended up with 9. Brian ended up with 8. So as always, if you have questions for us, send them in at bci@ksu.edu.